Every day you get 24 hours, rich or poor, famous or unknown, genius or average. Everyone gets the same amount. But most people waste theirs. They spend it like it's infinite, like tomorrow is guaranteed, like there's always more time. There isn't a day you learn to treat every hour like money. You learn to invest it wisely. You learn to master the only resource that matters. Chapter 1. Treat your hours like money. You'll never get back. Time is not free. You pay for every wasted hour with something you can never replace. Your potential, your progress, your life. But most people don't see it this way. They waste hours scrolling, hours complaining, hours doing nothing. Then they wonder why years pass with nothing to show. Here's the truth. You would never throw away money. You count it, you budget it, you think before you spend it. But time, you give it away to anything, to anyone, without thought, without strategy. Think about yesterday. Where did your hours go? Can you account for them? Most people can't, because they never tracked. They just drifted through the day, reacting, responding, wasting. The people who accomplish impossible things understand one principle: time is the only currency that matters. Money can be made back, reputation can be rebuilt. But time, once it's gone forever. Every hour you spend is an investment. It either builds your future or steals from it. There's no neutral. Every choice compounds. Every hour counts. Most people live like they have infinite time. They say later, like later is guaranteed. They postpone important things for comfortable things. They trade their future for present comfort, and they pay for it with regret. Here's what changes when you treat time like currency. You start saying no to distractions, time wasters, to people who drain your hours without giving value back. You become protective, strategic, intentional. You stop giving your best hours to your worst habits. You stop spending prime time on low-value activities. You stop letting other people dictate how your currency gets spent. How much time did you waste last week? How many hours went to things that didn't matter? How many went to things you won't even remember? The shift is simple but brutal. Before you spend an hour, ask what you're buying with it. Progress or comfort? Growth or distraction? Future or present? Then choose consciously. Most people never ask, they just spend. They wake up and give their hours to whatever demands attention loudest. Email, social media, other people's emergencies, everything except what actually matters. But geniuses are different. They guard their hours like treasure. They know exactly where each one goes. They plan, they protect, they invest deliberately, and over time, those hours compound into extraordinary results. Starting today, track every hour. Write it down. See where your currency actually goes. You'll be shocked. Most people waste half their day without realizing it. Once you see it, you can change it. Most people lose their morning before they get out of bed. They grab their phone. They check notifications. They scroll. They let the world set their agenda before they set their own. And that's the mistake. Because whoever controls your morning controls your day. If external things control your morning, external things control your life. Think about how you started today. Did you take control or did you react? Did you choose your focus or did your phone choose it for you? The people who master their 24 hours don't start to react, they start to be proactive. They decide what matters before the world tells them what's urgent. They create momentum before distractions can steal it. Here's what most people miss. Your morning energy is your highest quality time. Your mind is fresh. Your willpower is full. Your focus is sharp. This is premium currency, and most people spend it on garbage. They spend it scrolling feeds, reading news they can't control, responding to messages that could wait, reacting to other people's priorities, all before doing anything that actually moves their life forward. This is like taking your best money and burning it. You're spending your most valuable hours on your least valuable activities, and you wonder why you feel behind all day. The shift is brutal but necessary. Your morning belongs to you, not your phone, not your email, not other people. For the first 3 hours, you work on your priorities, nothing else. Most people resist this. They say they need to check messages. They say they need to stay connected. They say they can't ignore the world for 3 hours. But that's fear talking. Fear of missing out. Fear of seeming unavailable. Fear of being left behind. But here's the reality. Nothing that happens in the first 3 hours of your day actually needs your immediate attention. Nothing. The world can wait. Your priorities can't. What would change if you owned your first 3 hours? If you worked on your most important thing before anything else touched your time? The strongest people wake up with intention. They know exactly what matters. They do that first, before email, before social media, before the chaos starts. They win in the morning, which means they win the day. From now on, protect your morning ruthlessly. No phone for the first hour, no messages for the first 3, just you and your most important work. That's how you take control. Chapter 3. Kill every activity that doesn't build your future. You are doing things right now that don't matter. Activities that feel productive, but lead nowhere. Habits that consume time without creating value. Commitments that drain hours without building anything. And you know it, but you keep doing them anyway. Because they're comfortable, because they're what you've always done, because stopping them feels harder than continuing. But every hour you spend on things that don't build your future is an hour stolen from things that do. You can't do everything. You can only do what you choose. And right now you're choosing wrong. Think about your typical week. How much time goes to activities that won't matter in 5 years? How much goes to obligations you accepted without thinking? How much goes to things you do just because you always have? Most people never audit this. They just keep doing everything. They add new commitments without removing old ones. They say yes to everything. Then they wonder why they have no time for what matters. The people who master their hours are brutal editors. They cut constantly. They say no to good things to protect time for great things. They kill activities that don't serve their future, without guilt, without hesitation. Here's what most people fear. If they stop doing certain things, people will be disappointed. Relationships will suffer. Opportunities will be missed. So they keep doing everything and accomplish nothing significant. But that's a trap. You can't please everyone and build your future. You can't say yes to everything and achieve something great. You have to choose, and most people choose comfort over contribution. What are you doing that you need to stop? What commitment are you honoring that no longer serves you? What activity are you maintaining out of habit instead of intention? The shift requires courage. You have to disappoint some people. You have to let some things go. You have to accept that you can't do everything. But once you do, you free up hours, massive amounts of hours, for what actually matters. Most people think they need more time, but they don't. They need fewer commitments, fewer obligations, fewer activities that don't build anything. They need to subtract, not add. Starting today, list every recurring activity in your week. Then ask each one, does this build my future? If the answer is no or maybe, cut it. Be ruthless. Your future depends on it. Chapter 4. Batch your tasks to multiply your output. You are destroying your productivity by switching tasks constantly. Email to work to message to call on social media. Back and forth, all day. Every switch costs you time, energy, focus. Most people don't realize this. They think multitasking is efficient. They think handling everything as it comes is responsive. But they're wrong. Every time you switch, you lose momentum. You have to reload context. You have to rebuild focus. It's expensive.
Here's what research shows. Every task switch costs you up to 20 minutes of productive time, not because the switch itself takes 20 minutes, but because your brain needs that long to fully engage again. Think about how many times you switched tasks today. 10, 20, 50. Multiply that by 20 minutes. That's hours of lost productivity, just from switching. The people who accomplish impossible amounts don't work more hours. They work in focused blocks. They batch similar tasks together. They eliminate switches. They protect their focus like it's their most valuable asset, because it is. Your ability to focus deeply on one thing for extended periods is what creates exceptional results. Scattered attention creates scattered results. Deep focus creates deep work. Most people resist this. They think they need to be available. They think they need to respond immediately. They think batching means they're ignoring urgent things. But urgency is usually an illusion. Very few things actually need immediate attention, but everything feels urgent when you're constantly checking, when you're always available, when you let interruptions control your day. The shift is simple. Group similar tasks. Do all emails at once, all calls at once, all messages at once, not scattered throughout the day, but in dedicated blocks. This protects your focus, multiplies your output. How much time are you losing to task switch? How many interruptions break your flow every hour? How much more could you accomplish with unbroken focus? The strongest performers guard their focus blocks religiously. They turn off notifications. They close all tabs. They eliminate every possible interruption. Then they work deeply, without switches, without breaks, for extended periods. This feels unnatural at first. Your brain is addicted to switches, to novelty, to constant stimulation. But that addiction is killing your productivity. Breaking it requires discipline, but the payoff is massive. From this moment, batch everything. Schedule specific times for email, for messages, for calls, for meetings. Outside those times you're unavailable, you're focused, you're doing deep work. That's how you multiply your output.
Chapter 5. Use your peak hours for your hardest work. You have about 4 hours of peak cognitive ability each day, maybe 5 if you're lucky. Outside those hours, your brain is running on fumes, making decisions poorly, creating mediocre work. Most people waste their peak hours. They spend them on easy things: email, meetings, administrative tasks, things that don't require their best thinking. Then they try to do hard work when they're already drained, and they wonder why the hard work is so hard. Why can't they focus? Why can't they solve complex problems? It's because they're trying to do high-level work with low-level energy. Think about when you feel sharpest. For most people, it's morning, the first few hours after waking, before decisions pile up, before the day drains them. That's premium time, and most people waste it on garbage. They check email, they scroll social media, they have unnecessary meetings, they do the easy stuff first to warm up. But there's no warm-up in time management. There's only smart use or stupid waste. The people who produce exceptional work understand this. They do their hardest work during their peak hours, not their easiest, not their most urgent, their hardest, the work that requires their best thinking. Here's the mistake most people make. They think they'll do the hard work later, when they have more time, when they feel more ready. But later never has better energy. Later is always worse. Always. Your energy declines throughout the day. Your willpower depletes. Your decision-making weakens. This means the hard work gets harder the longer you wait. What could take 2 focused hours in the morning takes 6 fragmented hours in the afternoon. What's your most important work right now? The thing that actually moves your life forward. When are you doing it? If the answer is whenever I have time, you're doing it wrong. The shift requires discipline. You have to protect your peak hours. You have to schedule your hardest work first, not last, not when convenient. First, when you're sharpest. Most people resist this because hard work is uncomfortable. It's easier to do easy things, to check email, to have meetings, to feel busy without being productive. But easy things don't create extraordinary results. Starting today, identify your peak hours, then schedule your most important work during those hours. Protect them ruthlessly. No meetings, no email, no distractions, just your hardest work when you're at your best. Chapter 6. Build recovery time into every day or break down. You cannot run at full speed for 16 hours. Your brain is not designed for constant work. It needs recovery, rest, breaks. Without them, your performance collapses, your decisions worsen, your output drops. Most people ignore this. They think more hours equals more results. They push through fatigue. They skip breaks. They work until they break. Then they wonder why they're exhausted. Why can't they focus? Why are they not getting results? Here's what neuroscience shows clearly. Your brain needs recovery periods, roughly every 90 minutes. Without them, your cognitive performance drops dramatically. You start making poor decisions, missing details, creating low-quality work. Think about your work session. How long do you go without a real break? Most people push for hours. They think breaks are a weakness. They think rest is lazy. So they grind, and they produce garbage. The people who maintain high performance build recovery into their day. They work in focused sprints. Then they rest completely. They step away. They let their brain recover. Then they work again. This isn't about working less. It's about working smarter. A focused 90-minute session with complete recovery beats 6 hours of fragmented, distracted work every single time. Most people confuse activity with productivity. They think if they're sitting at their desk, they're working. But sitting doesn't equal producing. Exhausted work is usually wasted work. Here's the shift. Plan your breaks like you plan your work. Schedule them. Protect them. Use them for actual recovery. Not scrolling. Not more work. Not fake rest. Real rest. What does real rest look like? Movement, nature, silence. Anything that gives your brain a complete break from the work. Most people take breaks but stay in work mode. They check email. They think about problems. They never actually disconnect. When was the last time you took a real break? Not a coffee while working. Not lunch at your desk. A complete mental break, where you stepped away fully. Let your brain recover completely. The strongest performers are ruthless about recovery. They work intensely. Then they rest completely. They understand that rest is not opposed to productivity. It's essential to it. Without recovery, quality collapses. This requires fighting guilt. Most people feel guilty resting. They think they should always be working. But that guilt is destroying their results. Exhausted work is low-quality work. Recovery enables high-quality work. From now on, the schedule breaks every 90 minutes. Real breaks. Stand up. Move. Step outside. Completely disconnect from work. Let your brain recover. Then return fresh. That's how you maintain peak performance all day. Chapter 7. Eliminate decisions that don't create value. You make hundreds of decisions every day. Most of them don't matter. What to wear, what to eat, what to watch, what to read. Each one drains your decision-making energy. And decision energy is finite. You only have so much. Every trivial decision depletes it, leaving less for important decisions, the ones that actually impact your future. This is why successful people wear the same thing daily, eat the same meals, follow the same routines, not because they lack creativity, because they understand decision fatigue. They automate the trivial to preserve energy for the critical. Think about how many pointless decisions you made today, decisions that won't matter tomorrow, decisions you'll make again tomorrow, decisions that consume energy without creating value. Most people never think about this. They make every decision fresh, every day. They spend mental energy choosing breakfast, choosing clothes, choosing what to do next, all day, every day. And they wonder why they're mentally exhausted. The people who master their hours eliminate decisions ruthlessly.
They create systems. They build routines. They automate everything that doesn't require real thinking. This preserves their decision energy for what matters. Here's what most people miss. Every decision has a cost. Even small ones, even easy ones. The cost accumulates. By noon you've made 100 small decisions. Your decision-making ability is depleted, and you haven't touched anything important yet. The shift is radical. Stop making decisions you don't need to make. Create default choices for routine things. Wear the same type of clothes. Eat similar meals. Follow set routines. This isn't boring. It's strategic. What decisions are you making daily that don't need to be made? What could you automate? What could you systematize? What could you decide once instead of repeatedly? The strongest performers have systems for everything. Morning routine, work routine, evening routine, meal plan, workout plans. Everything is systematic. This frees their decision energy for strategy, for creativity, for problems that actually require thought. Most people resist this. They think routines are restrictive. They think systems are boring. But they're wrong. Systems create freedom. By eliminating trivial decisions, you free mental space for meaningful ones. Starting today, identify your repetitive decisions, the ones you make every day, then create default choices. Systematize them. Automate them. Stop spending decision energy on things that don't matter. Save it for things that do. Chapter 8. Protect your evening to prepare for tomorrow's victory. Your evening determines your morning. How you end today sets up how you start tomorrow. Mess up your evening and you'll fight an uphill battle all next day. Most people destroy their evening. They scroll until midnight. They binge shows. They eat poorly. They go to bed stressed. Then they wake up exhausted, unfocused, already behind, and they blame the morning. They say they're not morning people. They say they need coffee to function. But the problem isn't morning. It's how they spent the night before. Think about your typical evening. What time do screens go off? When do you actually wind down? How do you prepare for tomorrow? Most people don't. They just crash. Then I wonder why mornings are hard. The people who win their days prepare the night before. They set up their environment. They plan their priorities. They wind down properly. They create conditions for tomorrow's success. Here's what most people miss. Your brain needs transition time. It can't go from screens and stimulation straight to deep sleep. It needs to be calm, quiet, darkness, time to shift modes. Without it, sleep quality suffers, which means tomorrow suffers. The shift requires discipline. You have to end your day intentionally, not whenever you collapse, but at a chosen time, with a routine, with preparation, with a clear transition from today to tomorrow. Most people resist this. They want to relax. They want to unwind. They think evening is their free time, but undisciplined evenings create difficult mornings, and difficult mornings create difficult days. What does your evening routine look like? Do you have one, or do you just drift until sleep? Are you preparing for tomorrow, or do you hope it works out? The strongest performers treat evening as sacred. They stop screens early. They plan tomorrow. They wind down systematically. They create conditions for quality sleep. Because they know tomorrow starts tonight. This means saying no to things. No late night scrolling. No binge watching until midnight. No eating right before bed. No stimulation when you need calm. These feel like small things, but they compound into major impacts. From this moment, create an evening routine. Set a screen cutoff time. Plan tomorrow before bed. Wind down properly. Prepare your environment. Treat your evening like the foundation for tomorrow's success, because that's exactly what it is. This is true for business, for health, for relationships, and especially for time. If you're not tracking how you spend your hours, you're probably wasting them. Most people never measure. They just live, day after day. No tracking, no accountability, no data. They have no idea where their time actually goes. They just know they're busy, and they feel like nothing's changing. And that's the problem. Without measurement, you can't see patterns. You can't spot waste. You can't make improvements. You're flying blind, making the same mistakes repeatedly, never learning, never improving. Think about yesterday. Can you account for every hour? Most people can't, because they never tracked. They have a vague sense of being busy, but no actual data on what they accomplished. The people who master their hours track everything, not obsessively, but systematically. They know where every hour goes. They see patterns. They identify waste. They make adjustments. They improve constantly. Here's what happens when you measure. You become aware. You see the truth. You realize you're not as productive as you thought. You spot time wasters you didn't know existed. You find hours you didn't know you were losing. Most people avoid this, because measurement reveals uncomfortable truths. It shows how much time you waste scrolling, how many hours go to things that don't matter, how little time you actually spend on priorities. But that discomfort is valuable. It's information. It's feedback. It's the starting point for real change. You can't fix what you can't see. Measurement makes waste visible. The shift is simple but powerful. Start tracking. Every day. Where did your hours go? What did you accomplish? What drained time without creating value? Write it down. Review it. Learn from it. What would you discover if you tracked every hour for a week? How much waste would you find? How many patterns would emerge? How much would you improve just from awareness? The strongest performers review daily. They look at what worked, what didn't, where time went, what created value, what didn't. They learn. They adjust. They improve. Every single day. Most people never review. They just repeat. Same habit, same mistakes, same waste. They wonder why the results don't change. But they never look at their data, because they don't have any. Starting today, track your hours. Simple spreadsheet, simple categories. Just track. Where did each hour go? At day's end? Review, learn, adjust. Do this daily. Watch your productivity multiply.
Chapter 10. Remember that time passes, whether you use it or not. Days will pass, weeks will pass, years will pass, whether you use them wisely or waste them completely. Time doesn't care about your plans, your intentions, your excuses. It just moves forward, always, and one day you'll look back, in months you can't account for. Years that vanished, decades that passed without building anything meaningful. Not because you didn't have time, because you didn't use it. This is the reality most people avoid. They think they have forever. They think tomorrow is guaranteed. They think there's always more time. So they wasted today. They postpone what matters. They choose comfort over contribution. But time is not infinite. You don't have forever. You have right now, this hour, this day, this moment. That's it. That's all that's guaranteed. Everything else is an assumption. Think about the last 5 years. What did you build? What changed? What has improved? If the answer is not much, that's not because time didn't pass. It's because you didn't use it. The people who create extraordinary lives understand urgency. Don't panic. Not stress, but healthy urgency. The recognition that every day matters. Every hour counts. Every choice compounds. They don't wait. They don't postpone. They act. Now. Here's what most people miss. Someday is not a day of the week. Later is not a real time. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. These are just comfortable lies we tell ourselves to justify inaction today. The shift is uncomfortable but necessary. Stop living like time is infinite. Start living like it's scarce. Because it is. Every hour you waste is gone. Forever. You can't get it back. You can't redo it. You can only choose better next time. What have you been postponing? What have you been planning to start? What have you been meaning to change? How long have you been waiting? What are you actually waiting for? The strongest people don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for someday. They are used today, imperfectly, messily. But they use it. And over time, those used days compound into extraordinary results. Most people will reach the end of their life with regrets, not about what they tried and failed, but about what they never tried at all, about the time they wasted, about potential they used, about life they never fully lived. You don't want that. Nobody does. But avoiding it requires action. Today. Not tomorrow. Not when conditions are perfect. Not when you feel ready.
Today. Now. This hour. From this moment forward, treat every hour like it matters, because it does. Use it. Invest it. Build with it. Stop wasting time you'll never get back. Your future is built from hours. Make them count. Thus. You have 24 hours. Same as everyone else. Genius or not. The difference is what you do with them. Most people waste their hours, then wonder why life doesn't change. You now know better. Time is currency. Spend it wisely.